all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning. You're listening to the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 19th of November. The stress being faced by India's older telecom operators has been much discussed in the recent past. Now, Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea yesterday announced plans to increase tariffs from next month, days after the Supreme Court ordered them to pay pending dues worth thousands of crores. In a statement, Vodafone Idea said it would suitably increase its tariffs from the 1st of December. It went on to say that mobile data charges in India are by far the cheapest in the world, and acute financial stress in the telecom sector has been acknowledged by all stakeholders. Bharti Airtel, meanwhile, said it will appropriately increase price offerings as the sector was highly capital intensive with fast-changing technology cycles that require continuing investments. Neither firm disclosed the quantum of increase in tariffs. Moving on to news in the financial space. In a significant development, the Reserve Bank of India can now seek resolution of non-banking financial companies having assets worth at least 500 crore rupees under the insolvency law, a move that is likely to help in addressing building stress in the NBFC sector. After discussions with the central bank, the Corporate Affairs Ministry yesterday issued a notification specifying the categories of financial service providers that can be taken up for resolution under the general framework of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Sticking with news on the banking space, lenders to Suzlon Energy are leaning towards initiating recovery proceedings after attempts to draw new investors to the company fell through. That's a Bloomberg Quint exclusive. The company has already gone through debt restructuring in 2013 and has seen two potential investors back out in the last 6 months, leaving lenders with few options. The company owes nearly 10,000 crore rupees to its domestic lenders in term loans, working capital debt and unpaid interest. In the aviation space, passenger air traffic in India saw a bit of a recovery in October, growing by just under 4% compared with the same month last year. It had grown just over 1% in September. In other news, a government panel has suggested that banning audit firms in the case of fraud should be an exception and debarment may be restricted to only those individuals or partners involved in the wrongdoing. The panel, headed by Corporate Affairs Secretary Injati Srinivas, has said in a report that was submitted to the Finance Minister that a firm should only be barred or banned if it refuses to cooperate in investigation proceedings or if its top management is involved in the fraud. In international news, a 2-day siege at a university in Hong Kong is raising fears of a violent crackdown on hundreds of protesters who remain trapped within the university. Running battles between police and protesters yesterday featured raging fires, tear gas and flaming vehicles. Last evening, the government warned those inside the university to surrender peacefully and urged others to stay away from the site as protesters pleaded for reinforcements to battle police. The government ordered schools to remain shut for a 6th day, and officials warned that they may need to scrap district council elections scheduled for Sunday. In the U.S., Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell met with President Donald Trump and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin yesterday to discuss the economy, marking a second face-to-face sit-down this year amid relentless White House criticism of the central bank. The Fed said in a statement that Powell's comments were consistent with his remarks at his congressional hearings last week, adding that the gathering was at the president's invitation. The meeting comes amid a steady stream of criticism of the Fed by Trump, who tweeted it was a very good and cordial meeting. In international markets, U.S. stocks ended higher but only with marginal gains, and Asian stocks are mostly lower at this stage in the morning. The Nikkei 225 had losses of about 0.5%, and the Kospi in South Korea had losses of nearly 1%. With that, it's over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup for the day in India. Good morning, Darshan. How are we looking today?
Hi Alex, good morning everyone. Global cues, at least on the US front, were decent, but Asia somehow has started off on a weak note. The SGX Nifty is also indicating a downtick of 30 points currently. But some telecom stocks are something that we need to watch out for. Both Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea have announced the intention to increase tariffs from December. The quantum is not known. Also watch out for Grasim, that could be in focus as it owns 11.5% stake in Vodafone Idea. SBI Life will be in focus. The term sheet shows that Carlyle is looking to sell 3% stake in the company via a block deal that will be there today. Probably the stock of the day today will be Tata Steel. In an exchange filing, they have outlined the proposal to transform and build a stronger European business. They have program focused on 4 areas in terms of increasing higher value steel sales, efficiency gains by production, lowering employment cost and reduction of procurement cost. And by this, they are initially targeting a positive cash flow by end of FY21 with an EBITDA margin of 10%. Also watch out for ICICI Bank. The Mint has reported that ICICI Bank plans a 20,000 crore capital boost via QIP. Some of the other stocks that we need to watch out for: CG Power and Industrial Solution, in which India Rating has cut the long-term rating and bank facilities to a default. Excelia Solution will be in focus. The parent has entered into an agreement for sale of its share to investment firm Vista Equity Partners. Deloitte has resigned as the post of statutory auditors for 8K Miles from November 15th. Diamines and Chemicals, it's a small cap chemical company in which the promoter Alkali Amine Chemicals, which is also a listed company, sold in almost 30 lakh shares in the company. Safari Industries, in which Oldwell Partners Master Fund acquired 4 lakh shares. Tano India Equity Fund was the seller. And in brokerages, Macquarie's come out with a note on Bandhan Bank. They say that several women's organizations have staged protest against microfinance companies in Assam as per the media reports. And Bandhan is the largest player in Assam with an AUM of 7,200 crores. That is almost 18% of its AUM. IIFL has initiated on Credit Access Grameen with a target price of 930, and Jefferies has upgraded Bharti Airtel to a hold from an underperform and downgraded Bharti Infratel to an underperform from a hold. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab, and you'll be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks, Darshan. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.